Hi students, welcome on the channel STEM with DK Swami. So in today's this lecture we are going to talk about this problem which is based on the fluid mechanics, where we need to find out the forces on the wall. And this question has been asked by one of the students, so I thought of making a video on this. It is a quite good question which is given in the Cengage as an illustration. So of course you can go through the solution of this question in the Cengage, and I will try to explain the method here, uh, which I think like we can use to understand this question or the approach of this question. Okay, so of course there can be like a different method. So majorly there can be two ways of solving this question. So I will be explaining you the shortcut method to find out this. Okay, or these kind of similar problems. All right, so here in the question they have given certain information. So first let us underline that information which have been given to us. So the first information they have given is that this container is having a inclined wall, and the inclined angle of inclination, this angle is given as theta with the horizontal shown in the figure. The length of the wall is b. Okay, yeah, so this thing we need to understand over here is like if I draw it, this container, so of course it is a 3D container, and we are just able to see the two dimension of this container like this, right? Of course there would be one more dimension of this. So like if I draw it somewhere, yeah, so there would be some other dimension of this one, like maybe I can just make a diagram like this, or all right. Okay, so here a diagram like that. Okay, of course this dimension is also there, and in this container some fluid is filled like this. Okay, so hope you are able to visualize this. So it is like a kind of unnecessary thing I'm doing, but like it will help you to understand this, right? And the fluid is filled up to certain height, so like it is filled up to h height like this. This is h height, and we have been given that this angle is theta. Okay, all right, so we need to find out the horizontal and vertical component of the force applied by the liquid per unit width of the wall. So we have been given this width d, or the b, yeah. So we have been given this width b. So per unit width means basically we can just take the b's value as 1. So whatever like 1 meter is there, in that case how much force will be acting. Okay, so let's try to visualize again it in the 2D. So I will just draw the 2D diagram of this. We have like this, and the other side there is this part, and the liquid is filled in this. Okay, okay, now think about it, that if I take a hypothetical line over here like this is a hypothetical line I'm taking. The part of the fluid which is this side this part of the fluid will have its weight, which will be acting in this direction, downward direction. So of course, the whatever the weight is there, that will be balanced by this surface, right? And of course, this part of the fluid will also be applying, like this complete part of the fluid will also be applying some kind of force on the other part of the fluid, like here it will be applying the pressure, right? But that is the action reaction force, so like it will be balanced over here. Now what happens if I just take this part of the fluid? For this part of the fluid, there is some weight of this fluid, and the weight of this fluid is acting in the downward direction. Okay, so let me just highlight this part which I'm saying over here, that think about it, this part of the fluid which is just right above this inclined part. Why I'm taking? Because we need to find out the force on this inclined part. So whatever the weight is there of this part acting in the downward direction, so let's suppose W weight is there, that is being supported by this wall. So it will apply some normal reaction, net normal reaction in the upward direction. And of course, for if I just separate out this part of the fluid, okay, yeah, so this part of the fluid is having some weight W, and it must be balanced by the wall. There is no other thing which can balance this vertical force. So that's why I can say the normal must be equals to W, and from there, of course, the force acting on the wall must be also equals to N as well, right? The acting in the downward direction, because X and reaction pair. So I just need to find out the weight. Okay, for the weight I need to take the volume, and for the volume, first of all I will take this cross section area. So the cross section area is basically the triangle's area, so you will say half times of base. Okay, so see, this angle is, this height is h, so height is h, and this angle is theta. So of course this angle would be theta, right? So I can say the tan theta value from there. So tan theta, like if you just take, this is h height and this is, let's suppose, base b, right? So you will say h divided by b. So b becomes h divided by tan theta, or I can simply say, okay, let's take it another name. So I will say capital B, base. So it becomes h quarter theta, right? So I can say that the area of the triangle is height times of base, and which is h quarter theta. Fine. So from here, this is the area, and times of width. If I take, then I can take this part of the volume. Whatever there is inside this, there is some part of the volume. So if I take this dimension b, then I can take that. But I need to calculate per unit, so that's why I will just take the b's value as 1. So this is 1. So this is the volume, and times of density gives us the mass, and times of g gives us the weight. So basically the normal acting on this becomes rho g h square cot theta divided by 2, and this is the vertical force acting on this wall. Fine. Now let's go to the horizontal force. Okay, now whenever we want to calculate the horizontal force, there is a method, a shortcut method, again I'm saying, that like here we have this inclined surface and it is filled up to a height h. Fine. So then it will have some projection on the vertical axis. Okay, this part of the area will have some projection on this side. Why I am taking this projection? Because I need to find out the force on this part, a horizontal force. So that's why we'll take the horizontal projection of this one. So there is a horizontal projection. So of course, like this is going to be h only. Fine. And then there is like this width b like this. So of course we are taking per unit length, so that is going to be 1. So this length is going to be 1 and this is length is 1. So basically we'll get some area. So that area is going to be h only. I can just say h. Now whenever I have a rectangular surface like this, a vertical rectangular surface like this, and I need to find out the net force on that vertical uh, surface. So what do I do is I will take the midpoint of that. In case of uniform increase in the pressure, it means the density is not variable. If the density is variable, so then of course the things will change. But in case of the uniform density, you can just take the midpoint's pressure. And which pressure? The gauge pressure. Now this gauge pressure gives us the excess force which is acting because of the inside pressure. Generally, like here, we'll have the inside pressure more compared to the outside pressure. And of course, that is going to be rho g h divided by 2. This is the excess pressure which is acting because half of the height at the midpoint. And then we'll say the net force which is acting on this is the pressure, the midpoint pressure, or you can also call it as the average pressure, times of the surface area, which is just equals to h, because the horizontal side I have taken as 1. So it becomes rho g h divided by 2 times of h. So it becomes rho g h square divided by 2. So this is the net force acting on the part of the fluid. So I hope till this point there is no confusion. Now this trick which I have told you over here, it can be applied at many places. Okay, this what I'm saying here. Even like some places will have a curved surface like this. Okay, let me just draw it. So you will have a curved surface like this. So that for that curved surface, like some part of that container can be curved like this. So if I need to find out the horizontal force on that, so you can just take the projection of that. So it is going to be some projected area like this. It will be some projected area over here. So you can just take the midpoint's gauge pressure over there, right, or the average pressure, and just multiply with the area, and it is going to give you the horizontal force. And for the vertical force, you can just take the whatever the mass is there, whatever the upside mass is there, that will apply some weight, and that weight itself becomes the normal. Now see here, when I say in this part which I'm saying here, the trick here I'm saying here, it has some limitations. It cannot be applied everywhere. Okay, let me just give you a quick example for the limitation of this one. Like for example, think of a container which is something like this. Okay, a tapered container like that. And if I fill this tapered container with this some kind of liquid, fine. So then at this place, if I need to find out the force, then I will not say that the force is equals to weight. The problem is that if you just take the fluid outside the part, of the fluid which is there inside, if you take this outside, like something like this, it would be right. Now what is happening, it is having the weight, simultaneously it is also having the forces because of these surfaces which are applying a reaction force. So that's why the force acting here will be more than the weight. And if you want to calculate that, so then you can just do here the calculation of the pressure, and then you can say that the force is equals to pressure times of area. Here you can easily say that. But here what is happening is this surface is inclined like this, so height of different point is different. Here the height of all the points is same from the or depth of the all the points is same, but here the different points depth is different. So that's why here the calculation of the pressure times of area will become tough. So that's why in vertical direction we directly say. But here what is happening is the surfaces are vertical. If they are inclined something like this, then we cannot say. Okay, so this is a direct trick we can apply, and this is a direct trick we can apply. So I hope you must have understood this part. And there are a lot of questions related to this, maybe whatever the reference book you have, so then you can try to solve these questions. And if you get any kind of doubts related to this, so of course you are free to ask, you can just comment. And there are a lot of other lectures available on this channel where I have discussed a lot of JEE mains, JEE advanced questions, PYQs. And I also covered a few concepts and the quick revisions, so you can just go through them. They will help you in your whatever the preparation journey, and you can share with your friends. Thank you very much.